Hi guys, this is Mr. Tan, and today we're looking at marketing and finance in the hospitality sector. And the session learning outcomes are going to be to explain marketing as a function and philosophy for business, to understand the relevance of value and how it underpins marketing, and to define marketing from a value creation and delivery perspective. So, what are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to cover, marketing as a business philosophy and function. We're going to cover, marketing and value creation and delivery perspective. And all too often, when we think about and we say marketing philosophy, people don't really understand this. And when we say to people, what is marketing? A lot of people say, oh, advertising, oh, sales, or promotions, and they don't really go to the heart of what a marketing philosophy actually is. So we're going to go into more detail in terms of what we mean. So if you think about Amazon and the business philosophy function of Amazon, again, think about this and we're going to discuss it in class. So has anyone purchased a product from Amazon? What was the random purchase, or was it a die-hard Amazon regular's decision? And what is it about the customer experience that is so enriching? So now when we think about marketing as a philosophy and function, it entails many different things. If we think about the definition from different writers like Kotler and Porter, who are the forefront in terms of writing, the manuals on marketing, which are excellent. They use various words like need, customer satisfaction, profit, mutually satisfying exchange, and there are so many definitions out there from many different authors which talk about marketing. But from my own perspective, having worked in marketing, as the marketing manager reporting to the marketing directors of many companies and owning my own company as well, I think that marketing, taking a lot of the definitions and words from other writers and adding a little bit onto it, I would say that marketing philosophy and way of thinking is a mutually satisfying exchange at a profit in the long term. But what do I mean by that? I mean that it needs to be across and adopted throughout the whole organization. It needs to be believed in from the top directors to the management coming down in every single department. It needs to be applied in every single department, even in the cleaning department. If you've got 5 people when you only need 3 people, well then that's not a marketing orientated philosophy, because if you've got 5 people then it's costing you more money, which means because you're paying more wages, more national insurance contributions, so and other costs you're paying for those people, and then you've got less money for profit in terms of your net profit. If you think about your profit and loss account, you have your sales minus your cost of goods sold, gives you a gross profit minus the expenses of the company, including staff, that's one of them, gives you a net profit minus interest charges, minus your corporation tax, any dividend payments, gives you retained earnings, which goes into the balance sheet as equity. But the more staff that you've employed, which is not necessary because you're not very productive or you are more inefficient, means that you have less money for advertising, less money for research and development, less money for product development, less money for satisfying customers' needs. And that is an absolute requirement in terms of lasting the distance. A mutually satisfying exchange, well, the customer is satisfied because he gets the iPhone. The company is satisfied because they're getting the profit. A mutually satisfying exchange. In the long term, because you want it to be in the long term. You don't want to be in business for 3, 5, 7 or 10 years. You want to be in business for 100, 200, 300, 400 years. Again, even Thomas Cook, in business for 178, 187 years, went into liquidation in 2019. Kodak cameras went into liquidation. Blockbusters into liquidation, Woolworths into liquidation. They haven't lasted the test of time. Maybe they weren't truly marketing orientated. They didn't have that philosophy to weather the changing climate and the storms that come every company's way. And you need to think about the being customer driven. It needs to be meeting the needs and satisfactions of customers. It needs to be relationship focused, and it needs to be the delivery of customer value. So these things need to be done, and it needs to be done from the whole organization in every single department. So again, this talks about philosophy and function, focuses on managing profitable customer relationships to develop loyalty, attract new customers to grow current customers, to focus on satisfying customers' needs, not only about selling and advertising. I absolutely agree. But in addition to all this, what is needed to be incorporated and implemented in the business is CRM, customer relationship management. Because if you don't know about your customer relationship management and your customers, how can you develop and create value, and how can you create and develop the LTV, the lifetime value of your gold bars of customers? So this needs to be incorporated. Likewise, other techniques needs to be incorporated in the organization to be profitable. You need other things like total quality management. You need continuous improvement. You need lean. You need all the principles available to make your company the most efficient and effective, running it in the best possible way, so that you are customer driven. You're thinking about the long term. You're thinking about profits. So you maximize the profits that you make for your company, which can be reinvested into satisfying your customers in the long term. So again, yes, I agree with all this, but it goes a lot deeper than just this. Again, to be a focus for every company, employee or department, from the reception staff, from no staff involved in direct customer interface, through to the production department. Absolutely agree, and this is what we've been talking about. And this supports the value creation as the glue between the internal functions of an organization and the interface of customers and external stakeholders. So, what do we mean by this? Marketing is the interface between an organization and its customers and its external stakeholders. And if we think about this again, you've got the production, you've got the finance and the personnel, you've got the marketing interface, and then you've got the stakeholders, customers. And very, very important for marketing, seen as a philosophy, as a way of thinking, as a way to last long term, and making sure that all the different departments come together as one, to work together as one and not independently. So again, when we think about the marketing functions, yes, it involves advertising, market research, and branding. These are some of the techniques. Advertising and branding are part of promotion, one of the 4 P's, and product, price, place, promotion, people, process, and physical evidence. So in a promotion, you have advertising and branding, and your market research is part of your situation analysis. However, these techniques will fail if a marketing philosophy is not adopted. So marketing is more than the advertising, more than market research, more than branding. It's the whole package. It's the whole way of thinking for the whole organization to be one, moving together in one way of thinking. When we talk about value and marketing value creation, what springs to mind when you think about BMW? When you think about these smoothies, the London foodie, how are these different? And what is the value creation? What do they offer? Why are these different than other products? So when we think about customer value refers to the relationship between the benefits and the sacrifice necessary to obtain those benefits. So we're thinking about value creation requirements. We're talking about offering products or services that actually perform. We're talking about earning trust, avoiding unrealistic pricing and give biased facts. We're talking about offer, co-creation, provide relationship with customers, and offer organizational-wide support in order to support service and after-sales support. When we think about customer satisfaction, you know, customer satisfaction is the customer evaluating of a good or service in terms of whether it has met their needs and expectations. But in order to do this, you need to really go into your segmentation, and you need to do your value segmentation and understand their baselines. Because if you are to meet and surpass those expectations in terms of adding additional value, then you need to understand what they are. The value concept, this has different meanings for different stakeholders for an organization. If we think about the customer value in terms of what they're actually getting, the shareholder value, the producer value, and even the social society value in terms of what they're getting. What is it, the value concept that these people are actually getting? And for different stakeholders, we think about Tesco's in Streatham. Well, Tesco's in Streatham has, built their store, and in building their store, they have built a swimming pool. They have built an ice rink. They have built a bus depot. They have built affordable housing that sits on Tesco's store for the local community. Why did they do that? They did that to meet the needs of the local community. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been given authority to actually build their store. If we think about the value chain as well, the value chain adds value. The value chain in terms of the primary activities and the supporting activities. The primary activities including, the inbound, and then the operations and the transformation of those operations, and then the outbound, and then the sales and after service marketing of those products, and then the supporting activities in terms of administration, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of procurement, in terms of human resource management within the organization, and even the possibility of SHRM, strategic human resource management, in relation to the organization, getting the right people at the right time, at the right price, for the right job. So again, all these things adding value in the middle and adding value proposition to the end customer. The value concept of different stakeholders. You've got employees, suppliers, society, and shareholders. And can you list the different types of values that can be created by organizations for these stakeholders? Okay, so think about that. Can you list the different types of values that can be created by organizations for these stakeholders, for employees, suppliers, society, and shareholders? So what do we mean by value-driven marketing? Value-driven marketing for an organization is a set of benefits or values it promises to deliver to satisfy the needs of the relevant stakeholders, such as customers, shareholders, value chain, producers, etc. Customer value-driven marketing. This is the value proposition that identifies a set of benefits or values it promises to deliver to customers to satisfy their needs. Such as BMW promises to be the ultimate driving machine, and Nissan Leaf electric car is 100% electric, zero gas, zero tailpipe. What do you think when you see the value proposition of maybe a fine five-star fine dining restaurant and hotel as opposed to a standard restaurant? Again, what is the value creation and delivery? I know my sons took me to a beautiful Chinese restaurant before the second lockdown, and the dining, the guest experience, the way we were served and taken into the restaurant and seated, and the food that was delivered, it was dim sum, and on top of the dim sum it was steamed, nicely proportioned. On top of that it had caviar and different types of colors of different caviar. So what is the value creation and the delivery and the proposition that your company is offering, and how is it different to other companies? So the marketing system of an organization demonstrates how the actors and elements interrelate to provide and deliver value to the target market under consideration. So the main actors and elements of the marketing system of an organization includes their suppliers, the marketeer, the channel members, the customers, and the competitors. Yeah, these elements are linked by value creation and delivery. And when we look about the marketing system and the value creation, we're talking about suppliers. Suppliers, value creation, delivery, quality of the raw materials. The marketeer in terms of the value creation and delivery, the products needed by customers. Channel members, value creation and delivery, the time, the place, possession and utilities. And the customers getting the right form of products that satisfy the needs and wants due to the marketing, value creation and delivery system of the organization. And so bringing it all together, value is the perceived benefits minus perceived costs in terms of time, money, or emotions. So the concept of value is multidimensional and can be interpreted differently by different stakeholder groups. So marketing is the interface between an organization and its customers and the external stakeholders. And every single person in the company has a part to play, whether you're admin in dealing with invoices, whether you're in sales, whether you're marketing, whether you're in human resource management, getting the right people that giving the right service to customers, so whether in your production, supplies, warehousing. Every single person within the organization has a part to play within the marketing philosophy. So thank you today from Mr. Tan. I hope that has helped in terms of marketing philosophy and value driven customer orientated strategies.